And we're up again. Shalom. Bless up. Let's go on and lock in. May this lesson and reading be blessed with the spirit that is placed upon me. The lessons that I may share with the world as you have shared it with me. And that it may do good, make the world just a little bit more brighter, and all things align according to your will. Give us of our trespasses, our ancestors, our loved ones, living and transcendent, that all things may be aligned according to your will, and that will be done. I am. Through this lesson, we are locking in today. I'm going to do a couple scriptures, and then we'll go into the lesson. A few scriptures that came to heart, kind of marked them down, so I would like to share them. Alright, let's see where we at. Give people some time to come in. We'll begin here in Psalms. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Psalm 37:7. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. That's another one of my favorite ones. A lot of times we tend to want to defend ourselves and not forget that our Father is the architect of stories of old, present, and the future. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. That is Psalms 46:10. Yeshua Christ said, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." It's Job 6:24. Yeshua said, we're going to go over to Matthew. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Matthew 11:28-30. In our last verse that we're going to touch bases on comes from Psalm 62, verses 1 and 2. My soul finds rest in God alone. My salvation comes from him, Elohim. He alone is my rock, my salvation. He is my fortress. I will never be shaken. I wanted to touch bases on something that I think is a all too common feeling that I myself and others before me have and know a little too well. So it is something that I feel that the majority of the culture may have experienced or maybe will experience one day in their life. And that is the contrast that hurts the most. Not so much in the life of those that will come against you, but those you would have walked through the fire with is more of a hurt and pain when you find yourself dealing with some of your darkest hours alone, and they are there. Those whoever you may look to the most. And what I would like to do today, as we go on with the lesson, is, as always, I kind of put myself in shoes, even if I had not experienced it. It gives me a better sense of empathy with the plight or the cry or the lesson sometimes that is to be learned. Where I come from, it is not so much expected as a surprise that those you would think and hope to be there for you and support in those darkest hours of your need. It is more of a surprise to find that they are versus they are not. When most of the time you can look at the shame, the resentment, and sometimes that hits the core to the very corner of the heart, because it is worse than the fear. Not a lot of times that you hope those to show up for you will or do. Take, for example, losing a loved one. In my coaches, it is a very common thing to GoFundMe. Usually it is not your family members that are on there supporting that. And in fact, if they do, they would much rather do it in privacy, secrecy. That's the shame. That is the embarrassment part of it that I'm speaking on at the moment. Oh, my microphone. As we look back at our culture, our family tree, I guarantee you it is deeply rooted in the stump somewhere back. Still, when you was a child, you thought and acted as a child. When you become a man, you put away all childish things. And so at some point, the hopes for which you have once placed your blame. I got a partner where I come from in my neighborhood who would have always blamed mother and father for circumstances, and I agree. As children, we're our lives and the destiny is usually in someone else's hand. Usually the mother, father, the adult that's over us. But at some point in life, the majority of the decisions that we make are choices of our own. And it got to the point where each time my partner would go off to the penitentiary, to prison, and when he would come back after doing a stretch or a bid, the majority of the time his family members were dying off. And it is to the point now where he's an orphan, such as myself, so to speak, where our mothers and fathers are now transitioned from the flesh and have passed away. But there is no one for him to place the blame. And at that point it became self-destructive. And I haven't spoken to my partner in some time, but I think about him when I was doing my lesson, because in a lot of ways, again, it's relatable not only to my culture, but to my community, but me personally and individually. And so it was important for me to mention him and know that if he ever hear this, we have all found ourselves in holes that we have had to come out of and dig out of individually. And so I hope he's doing okay. I pray for him. Yeah. It is hard for us to forgive. But like in so many cases, it becomes self-destructive after some point in your life. So I would hope that this is a battle that I see a lot of my peers struggle with. And so I hope that there was some meaning to that part of what I speak. And not everyone will relate because, again, some have no idea what it is like to walk in other shoes, and it's hard for them to fathom this. But forgiveness is also for ourselves. It is for self. The pain, the heartache, the betrayal, the shame, the fear, the embarrassment, the manipulation, it all gives power and makes way for a resilient person. I think that's what I would say. And again, it is a reflection of my own shadow that I speak, because his struggles are no different from my struggles, whether I have yet to experience them or have experienced them. So, in that point, we are all kind of the same. But when you come across these emotions that you have to endure, and you have to find strength and will to get through the pain, heartache, betrayal, the shame in loved ones' eyes. Sometimes it's the biggest heartache for me, because it is worse to see that look than it is to see sometimes the fear in one's eyes. But the embarrassment, the manipulation, the not understanding how one can not guide you in the right direction, let alone not even come around and find themselves in the arena to help you. It is a hurtful thing to feel. And again, I can relate sympathy and empathy wise. Although I think I may have experienced each one of those words by way of definition at some point or another in my life. All things give power to your resilience. So it is only building a better version if, and this is the word, that you can go through that fire, you can walk through it to come out on the other side. At the end of our flesh, at the end of the journey, I won't be shaken by my own shadow. I have a veteran partner. Again, someone I ain't spoke to in years. But this is always a conversation between him and I over the years, especially when he came back from doing his tour a couple times. And very good, dear friend to me. And if he ever see this, he know who I'm talking about. My partner. Well, he was constantly mentioning the shadow. Now, some people, it's a mirror. And I know for me, it became a two-way mirror when you get to your low point in your darkest hour in life. I know Michael Jackson had a song called Man in the Mirror. So a lot of people know these things of what I speak. But it was important that I understood what message he was trying to send to me. And who would have thought later on in life that was one of the highest mountains for me to climb as well. You know, I won't be shaken from my own shadow when my soul departs, my spirit departs from the flesh, and the journey that is to be taken. For I hope that my partner, myself, my loved ones, the good of the universal creator prepares us with enough tools for that journey. And in closing, on this beautiful day, as we are in the process right now of a big shift, and I won't speak on it too much because I plan on doing a separate video on it, but there's a shift that has taken place over the last 6 years or so that seems to have, in one cause or effect, way or another, affected all inhabitants, including nature itself, Mother Earth, in some way or another. As a child growing up, listening to my elders read scripture, I always wondered about the mighty, miraculous wonders of our Creator. Even as a young man, will we be able to recognize these things when we see them? And I'm not sure how long the day moon that I've noticed here in the last 3-4 years shares a time and space with the sun. I don't know if this is something that's been around. I would like to write that down and look it up though. But it is new to me. And ever since I've taken notice of it, I've also taken notice of the changes. For example, the sun is sticking around longer than it used to, and therefore the days are a lot longer. At least it feels that way, where the sun is still in the sky. And at nighttime, our nights are actually getting a little shorter, and it feels like in some way or another that time is speeding up to some degree, not visible with the eye, but to some degree, if you could pinpoint it. So in closing, I want to share these things, lessons, and again, I think that they are all kind of, as we are all interconnected one way or another, as inhabitants of Earth. Try start to make these distinctions that will help us do our little due diligence and our part in playing our role in whatever way that is. I think we all are capable at whatever our heart desires. And I know that we are all gifted in some way or another. We all have something, a gift, talent to offer the world to make it better. If that is the way you feel, that is not. It is always a choice given. My thoughts and my points of view, my pain, my hurt, my stories, is not necessarily yours. So please, let your soul, your heart decide. And if it is and it can help, great. And if it's not, that's okay too. At least we got to share some dialogue. So in closing, I would like to say peace, shalom. I want to give a shout out to my teachers and my elders who I know are happy to see me up and stretching my legs once again in such a way with one of the gifts and talents I've been blessed with. And to the world, we the realest thing, some of the realest shit that I've heard in these last 5 years. I was back home on the block, and just like people are filling me out, I'm filling them out. So I have to sometimes, in a lot of ways, get reacquainted with people I've been around my whole life. But all the strangers, all the people that I know, far and near. A young man said some of the realest sentence, some of the realest shit that I've heard in these last 5 to 6 years. And when he said it, I know he thought that I might have got offended, but I was so thrilled because, and I'll get to that in a minute, but that's exactly how I've been feeling. He said to me, and he didn't say it directly, but it was more indirectly, as we was in a group, in the huddle, doing what we do. And I kind of called it out, saw it here. He says, I know who that is. And he says, and I'm paraphrasing what he said. He says, I don't see it. I don't get it. I don't understand what they see in you. And before he can even go on, some other people kind of tuned it down before, I could even get a chance to respond, or he can even continue to go on. By mentioning, all the time, he does this, he does that. But I understood what he meant, because honestly, that is how I feel 99% of the time. I'm not sure what action I have taken to deserve such an audience. When we really tap into our first heart or our second heart that we call our gut, our intuition, that feeling in your stomach, when we really tap into that, we all have a divine, spiritual, soulful connection to something of the unseen. And I think, and this is just my opinion, that this is in all people. I don't think necessarily color has nothing to do with this. I think the spirit is colorless. But I do my best to relate to those words because there's a lot of rappers and entertainers, and there are so many other people that want to be these musicians, artists, and entertainers. And there's so many people that are spiritually inclined. I'm not even a Bible head like that. My search for knowledge takes me into all walks and different books and chapters of life, eras of life, and scriptures, and history lessons, so to speak, that have taken me far by the imagination, as I've got to know a lot of cultures and things that nations and people that I've never met, but have had the opportunity to sit and learn from some of their intellects. That has been a true blessing, is having the time to do so. I've been able to see a connection that we are all kind of serving this one God. We just call him different names. We use different languages. We use different avenues, books, scriptures, history lessons to get there. Some use science, and some use a spiritual connection, more ancestral and a higher frequency of thought connected with heart to find that. But we're all kind of searching for the same thing, I believe. Those who are searching the true essence of the Most High. And wherever we can find it, try to fill our cups up once we do. I offer resilience to the world. That is my lesson today in closing, was to leave you with one message. It would be that the pain, the heartache that you will experience, let me adjust here a little bit, the pain, the heartache that you will experience, betrayal, the shame, the fear, the embarrassment, the manipulation for which you might find yourself at the crossroads of one day. It all comes together for a greater good and gives power to your resilience. So if you have any doubt, I'm here to let you know that I'm familiar with these words by way of definition and experience. So I offer that. Strength, peace, love, prosperity. I offer that. Resilience makes a better version of self. And in that better version is a combination of experiences that we have partaken, just here a little bit. And if you can somehow manage to come out on the other side of that, your heart will be light. I promise you it's a lot more peaceful than it is going in the moment of the storm. So, in closing, I want to say peace, shalom, one love. And to my loved ones, shouts out all around four corners of the globe, my family, to my teachers, my elders. I know it seems that we are always against the clock. And for self, I am constantly looking for a better version than my shadow. So sometimes my foot being dragged, stagnant, is for this reason, that I am searching for a better version to give to the world. This is why there's a different tone and character from me standing and teaching a lesson, giving a testimony, versus the character that I have to find when I'm in artist mode, But nonetheless, it is building a better version of itself. So, peace, shalom, one love.